so that we can save this for next time. So good morning, good afternoon, whatever time it is. My name is Andrea Rosser, and I am so excited to welcome you to this Getting Started training. And so you might be brand new and you're just getting started and you want to know what's going on and how you can win with the system of growth. Or maybe you've been here for a minute and you're like, man, I'm seeing these people and they're lapping me. I'm watching them run, I'm watching them win, and I want a little piece of that. So either way, that's what this call or this Zoom is designed for. It's designed to help you get up to speed on the system of growth so we can help you have the success that you're looking for. So just plug in, tune in with us today. We're going to take about 30 minutes. And then at the end, I'll stop the recording and we can go ahead and I can answer any questions. And we'll have about 10 minutes for questions and answers. And with that, I'll give a plug to this evening because we're going to have on our Wednesday Wisdom. So we do a team call every single Wednesday at 8 p.m. Central Time. But we're doing a theme for the next few calls. I haven't quite told him how many yet, so we'll see what he agrees to once I try to sway him. But questions with Coach. So we will have Coach Palmer on the Wednesday night call, and we're just going to attack him in a nice way with questions. So I did a live over in Partner Code Nation. And so jump in there and throw your questions on that live in the comments, and we'll ask those questions tonight. But I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. We're going to go ahead and get started with this training today. So like I said, my name's Andrea Rosser. I am so excited for each and every one of you that has decided to jump on board and get started with us. And that's what today's all about, is running you to success. So first of all, the first level of success is we got to get your toolbox filled. We got to get you your resources so that you have everything that you need in order to be successful. So if you're not driving, if you are driving, don't do it. But if you're not driving, what I would recommend is that you take a screenshot of this screen right here, because one of the cool things with our phones these days, if you have a picture, you can turn all of these links back into links. So you won't have to type in all of this stuff. But I'm just going to walk you through some of these resources just real briefly so you know what they are. So first of all, our entire system is built around a program called Boards. Now, that is a third-party app. Partner Code did not create it. Andrea Rosser certainly didn't create it, but it's an app that I've personally used for many years now, just for my own personal business. But not too long ago, the entire system of growth was put into Boards. And on that app, we have a specific Boards link that's going to put our board onto your phone. And I'll show you the power of that in just a moment. And just know that there are a variety of teams in Partner Co. And many of those teams have their own board. And so you might, like mine is a star. So you might see a star on your board. Well, then you know that that's the one that I created. You might see a dollar sign and you'd know, well, that's the one that Dr. Crystal Vance and Ashley Paulson created. And then there's others that other teams have created. But I'll tell you this, we all have access to each other's, and we do our best to mirror each other as much as possible because we want to make sure that it's as easy for everybody. So just know, this is going to be my specific board, but if you have a leader that's doing things just a little bit differently, that's perfectly perfect. Just grab their board and you'll be good to go. Next is Telegram. And Telegram is purely a way for us to communicate. So this is a one-way conversation. And we're going to tell you about calls like this. We're going to tell you about local parties that might be around the nation. We're going to tell you about sales that the customer or the company is having. We're just going to share information on there so that you know exactly where to plug in, what to tune into, so that you have everything that you need to help yourself grow. Next is Circle of Health. And the next two are going to be some Facebook groups. Circle of Health was created by Dr. Crystal Vance and Ashley Paulson. And I will tell you, this is one of the most important resources that you can have in your tool belt. And this is a group purely for droppers. So this is for any of your customers that are on the drops. You can also use it for your prospects that maybe they're considering, you've started the conversation, they've asked you about the drops, you can put them in this group as well, so that they can see more transformations. They can see some of the questions. They can learn a little bit more, find the recipes, all that good stuff. So I'd highly recommend that you get yourself on that group and then add your customers in there as well. Next is going to be Partner Code Nation. And this is another Facebook group. And this is where we brag on you. So there'll be information in there, and there'll be, flyers and parties and calls and all that kind of stuff. We go live in that group for a lot of our trainings as well. But a big portion of that is that when Ida enrolls a new brand partner, well, we want to go celebrate in there. And we're going to say, yay, Ida. And when Sherry hits gold and ultimate, well, we're going to go in there and we're going to say, yay, Sherry. So it's just a way that we can love on our team. So you want to get your team in there so that you can brag on them, you can celebrate them. We all know when we get out of this circle, we don't get celebrated very much. So it's fun to be able to celebrate our team members in there. And then the next resource is going to be the Partner Co. Share app. Now, this is the actual app that was created by the company, by Partner Co. You will download that from your app store, but you can get a ton of resources in there. So if you notice my background right now, that's from the Partner Co. Share app. If somebody asks me, tell me about the actual, every single ingredient in the skinny drops, well, I've got a couple of different places that I can send that. I can send that from boards, but then I can also go on the Share app and I can share a little bit more information. Or if a customer asks about a different product that maybe I don't have in boards, right? Because boards is focusing on the slenderized drops, I can go into the Share app and I can share information from there as well. So if you wanted to know more about the Bahamas, right, for our next trip that's going out in that direction, you can get that information in the Share app. So it's just a great resource where you can find some additional tools about the company and about our products. Now, the bottom are 2 Zooms that I want to talk to you guys about. The first one is Coach's Corner, and that's a personal plug because this is a Zoom that both myself and Coach Palmer do every single day. It's 15 minutes, and I'm going to tell you, this is not a business Zoom. This is purely a fun Zoom. This is self-development Zoom. This is mindset Zoom. So all we do on there is we pick a word of the day, and we do a little lesson on it. Today, I think our word was win. And so we just talked about how to win and what does it mean to win. But this is purely for fun. So if you've got 15 minutes in your morning and you want to plug into that, we would love to have you. We'll sing you happy birthday. We'll have a great time. But that is just a fun one. But if you want to grow your business and you're not at work at 9:15 in the morning, Monday through Friday, or if you are and you can sneak a little earbud underneath your hair, jump on the IPA Zoom. This is a Zoom that Todd Rowland runs with his organization. And we've had the privilege of plugging into it for some months now. And it is phenomenal because what happens is somebody today wins. They do an IPA, which is an income producing activity. And they say, hey, I made this specific post, and they share it with all of us. And guess what? We can then tomorrow copy it, put it into effect in our business, and then we can go create income with the tips that we've learned. So much of the system of growth, so much of everything that we are doing was really created through the IPA. We've just refined it. So it's a great way for you to you're like, I need a tip to implement into my business today. Jump on the IPA because it's going to give you some tips on what you can do that day to earn a bigger paycheck. So that's that. Now, once we have all of our tools in our tool belt, and hopefully you all got a screenshot and you got that, the next thing that we're going to do as you're starting your business is we're going to do your social launch. And what does that look like? Well, you're going to post twice a day. And you're going to do that at 9 a.m. and 3 p.m. And then when people respond to you, you're going to use the scripts because that is going to make it simplified for you. You don't have to be an expert. You don't have to learn anything beforehand. You just go in and press, copy and paste. It's very, very simple. And then next, we're going to add our customers to the circle of health as you start those droppers. And you're going to tag them in the Let's Get Started video at the top of that group. So when you go into that group, you'll see an option for featured. Click on that and then tag your guests in that video, because that's going to set them up for success on the drops and in the group. And then we're going to follow up weekly so that we can help our people get the success that they're looking for. So we're just going to love on them. And so this social launch is really what you will be doing for at least your first 4 weeks within the business. And all of the information for you to do that is going to be found on boards. So hopefully every single person in here has downloaded boards already. And if you haven't, it's going to look like this. So when you go in the upper left-hand corner, hopefully you guys can see this. When you search in the Google Play Store or in the App Store, there's going to be a program called Boards. You want to go ahead and get that downloaded onto your phone. And then once you have that and you've given it all the permissions, and you'll see it's going to prompt you, answer the questions. It's going to ask you, what industry are you in? You're going to say network marketing. It's going to ask you if you have a team, and you're going to say, I'm part of a team. And then it's going to ask you what company name. You'll have to say other, because they don't have us yet. We're too new, but then you'll type in Partner Co. And you just want to follow the tutorial. Fernanda, I think is her name, in Boards, that she's going to walk you through a tutorial on how to use the program. So do that first. And then you're going to go ahead and download the board that I showed you on that first slide. And that link will work if you've got that screenshot. And you're going to upload that board onto your phone. And once you do, you will see all of this in here. And the best part about this is it makes it so easy. We hear all the time an 8-year-old could do this business. I'm going to say anybody could do this business with this program. So it's going to have all of our text scripts, everything that we need to say. It's going to have our social media posts. So we're going to start right here. And in those social media posts, when I click on this little star eye button, it's going to open up a folder that's got week 1 and week 2, week 3, and week 4. So everything that you need to do is all included in there. So this is week 1, my 9 a.m. post, my 9 a.m. text, my 3 p.m. post, like the picture, the 3 p.m. text. Here's day 2. Morning and afternoon, and it's going to keep going, and it's going to give you everything. So 28 full posts, so you can do twice a day for 4 full weeks, will all be included in there. And you'll notice as you're looking at it that it really goes through a cycle. So I'll tell you that each of these posts were crafted and they were designed to help you bring your prospects along with you. So you're going to get some attention, and then you're going to pique their interest. And then you're going to create a little bit of fear of loss. And then we're going to do a call to action so that we can say, all right, come on, join with me. Do you want some? I can help you get them. And it's going to repeat that cycle throughout the post so that it's going to give your customers an opportunity to say, okay, what is she doing? All right, how do I do it? How do I get it? And so what will happen, and the majority of your action is going to happen in your private messenger. So sometimes people can get a little bit caught up where they're like, well, I don't think anybody's seeing my posts. Nobody's commenting. Nobody's loving on my actual post on social media. But guess what? Go open up your messenger, and usually about day 3, day 4, that's when the excitement happens over in the messenger. So make sure you're checking your messengers. But when people are asking you questions, then you can go in here, and message 1 is when they ask us about the drops. The full script is going to be crafted for you. Message 2, when they ask you how much they cost. What I'd recommend is when you have a little bit of downtime. So maybe instead of, I would say for me, instead of watching Friends tonight, I can sit on the couch instead, take those 22 minutes and go through Boards a little bit and get familiar with it. Look at the posts and get familiar with what it looks like. Go look at the responses, because there's a ton of information in here that the answer to your question is probably on Boards for whatever it may be. So just go through there. When people ask, Is this going to work with my thyroid medicine? Or how long is it going to take for me to get results? Or gosh, is there a way that I can get them cheaper? Or, all the different steps or questions are all going to be answered, or the majority of them. There might be some that people try to stump us, but you can send those. We'll help you with those as well. And then also included in here is going to be our follow-up messages for our customers for as we're following up with them. So this is what that's going to look like. This is our customer flow where we have a dropper, and I'll tell you, I start this ticker when I deliver my drops. So if I hand you the drops, that's when I'm going to start the ticker. If I delivered the drops, or if I shipped them to you, I'm going to look and I'm going to see, okay, it says it's going to be 4 days before they arrive to them. So I'm going to set a reminder on day 4 that I need to do the getting started text. And what that looks like, again, it's in boards, but it's going to share a little bit about how they use the product. It's going to remind them to take their measurements and to weigh themselves and take a picture. They don't have to share it, but take that picture. It's going to ask them or invite them into the circle of health group, and you're going to invite them, but you're going to let them know. And then you can also start a 3-way text with your running mate. And a lot of times that's going to be the person that enrolled you, got you started here. And you'll just say, this is a person that is going to support you on your journey. And that's what you would send to your customer. And all of those texts are included in the boards for the getting started. And so that's a great way to start fostering that relationship with your customer and your running mate, which we call a 2x2. And then 1 week from when they got their drops, I'm going to send them some love. And you think about, anytime that you've started a new wellness journey, the support is critical and it's so powerful. You don't have to do anything crazy here. Remind them like, hey, did you weigh yourself? Did you take those measurements? Because so many people don't, because they don't think they're going to get results. And then they kick themselves 3 weeks in because they don't have that, that proof, right? So go remind them, share your favorite breakfast recipe, or if you had a struggle when you first got started, go share how you overcame it. I really struggled drinking water when I first got started. So what I did was I set up a reward system for myself that when I drank my first thing of water, I get a cup of coffee. And when I drink my second thing of water, well, then I get an elite or whatever it may be. So you could just share how you've overcome some of the obstacles that perhaps you had. That's what I do on week 1. Week 2, we're going to celebrate. So we're going to pick up the phone and we're going to call them and we're going to say, Mary Jo, tell me how these drops have been treating you. And they may say, you know what? I haven't seen anything yet. I'm sleeping better, but the scale's not moving. And then we can talk to them a little bit about, well, tell me about how you've been following the approved food list and tell me a little bit about your nutrition. And if you need help with this, if you don't know how to, have that conversation, bring in your 2x2, your running mate. And that could be the person that got you started. It could be somebody else in your organization that just knows just a smidge more than you do to help you with these calls. But they can help answer those questions and make sure that we get that person to a win. But if they've already had a win, they're like, oh my gosh, I'm sleeping like a baby. And I've lost 3 pounds. And crazy enough, I also lost 2.5 inches in my waist already. Then we're going to say, oh my goodness, I am so excited for you. Hold on one moment. And I'll tell you, then I personally am going to grab somebody on the phone with me. And I'm going to say, Paula, you've got to hear what Mary Jo just told me. Mary Jo, will you tell Paula what you just said to me? And Mary Jo's going to say whatever wins I just said, maybe 3 pounds, 2.5 inches. And Paula's going to say, woohoo, congratulations. I am just so excited for you. You know how big of a deal it is to have these wins. And we want you to keep having them. And consistency is key. So we might want to chat about what your options are for your next box of drops. When's a good time for us to connect for about 10 minutes? And we're going to set up that 3-way Zoom or a 3-way call where we'll walk them through their options for the next box. And so, and if you guys don't know what those are, well, you've done it because you're in, but pay the $29.95. Or, well, they could continue to get the boxes the way they are, or they can pay $29.95, get them at our cost, or they can buy them at bulk, get them even cheaper, get theirs for free, and even earn a paycheck. So we'll walk them through that. But we're not going to ask them if they want to sell drops with us, because they'll all say no. Nobody wants to sell drops, right? But we will say is, when can we chat real quick about your options for your next box of drops? And then once we're on there, we're going to show them all the different options on how we can save them money, how we can possibly get their drops for free, or possibly get them a paycheck. Okay. Now, week 2, maybe they didn't have a win. They didn't have a win yet. So we're just going to love on them. Week 3, we're going to go for the ask. You've been on this product for 3 weeks now. You should, if you've been using them properly, you should almost be out. So are you ready to place another order? And how would you like to do that? Would you like to get them from me, or would you like to get them directly from the company and I can give you your options for that, right? So similar conversation. And if they still didn't convert, on week 4, we're just going to share some more love. I don't ask again on week 4. I'll follow up with them later. But if somebody just says, you know, I'm good with my results, then we're going to let them be. We're just going to love on them. If they say, you know what, I didn't feel as much as I wanted to feel, whatever, well, then we're going to give another tip. We're going to share a little bit more love. We might tag them in a couple of posts on Circle of Health. We might even offer them some other supporting products at that point that might boost their success on these. But I'm not going to talk about any other products until we get to that week 4 at the earliest. That's the first time I'm really going to introduce anything else to them and just see where we go from there. But the biggest thing there is we want them to leave this journey, if they choose to, with a good taste in their mouth. That they go, man, Sherry supported me every step of the way on my journey. And I know I ate a Snickers every single day, and that's probably why I didn't get the results that I wanted, but she loved on me. And next time when I'm brave enough to give it another go, I'm going to think of Sherry and say, you know what, I'm going to follow her on that program again because she loved on me. She was good to me. And maybe I'll make some changes in my diet and give it another go. Right. So that's going to really be our customer flow. And then lastly, we're going to talk about our brand partner timeline. And this would be us, right? These are all of us that are in the business. And as we get a team going, these are the steps that we want to make sure that we're following. So when somebody gets started, we want to take the time to get them on boards. We want to take the time to help them with their first post. And if you're brand new and this was your first introduction to boards, this is your first introduction to making a post, I'm going to recommend that you get back with whomever got you started and say, hey, I need some one-on-one time on boards. I need some one-on-one time with the social media. And if that person's new too, which there's a great chance of that I'm going to say, let's keep digging. If nothing else, reach out to me. And I'll put in the chat in just a second because I can't do 2 things at once. In the chat, I'm going to put my cell phone number so that if you say, you know, nobody's able to help me with boards right here, well, we'll dig together. We'll get you the help. Either myself or somebody else will make sure that you get up to speed on boards, on those social media posts, that you're in all the groups, you're in Telegram, you're on the IPA Zoom, because these are the building blocks for you to have success. Then, as soon as somebody has worked on moving at least 4 boxes, we need to make sure that they understand the conversion process that we just talked about with those customers. They need to understand that we're going to love week 1. We're going to reach out to them and have a phone call on week 2. We're going to do a little bit more. We're going to do an ask on week 3, and we're going to do a little bit more love on week 4 so that their customers are going through the cycle. So we want to make sure that our brand partners know how to do that. And then we want to make sure that when somebody reaches Gold and Ultimate, that they have their subscription set up, because we want to make sure that they're set up to win next month, that they're enrolled in direct deposit, and that we're sharing with them how to leverage their next order so that they can earn $150 more on their boxes. And so if anybody, again, on here and you're golden ultimate, but you haven't had that training yet, or you don't have your subscription, or you don't have, and you're not sure how to do that. Again, I'm going to put my number in the chat. We're going to make sure that you know how to do all of that. And then as soon as somebody has started a team, we're going to show them how to check their orders in their volume, so they know what's going on, and they know who to reach out to get help in terms of with their team, to make sure that their team is duplicating the process and that everybody is properly trained. So that's pretty much the timeline for us here. And I'm going to go ahead and stop my share, and I'm going to stop my recording. And then I'm going to open it up. So I'm going to ask everybody to unmute, but you do not have to all unmute at once. But if anybody has any specific questions, and while I'm waiting, I'm going to go ahead and put my number in the chat. But if anybody has any questions, feel free to unmute and go ahead and ask them right now. And then we'll be good for the day. All right. Well, we either have a really quiet bunch, or
Okay, I have a question.
okay. And this is Jamie.
I'm Jamie. Yes.
Hi,
I'm
Jamie.
in Huntsville.
Okay, Jamie in Huntsville.
Not a fun question, but I'm semi-new.
Semi-new.
Semi-new, and I'm under Beth Hart.
Yeah, love Beth Hart.
Okay. Not a fun question, but a question that maybe others might know, or need to know. This didn't come up before, but basically, does the company have something in writing or something they can send or email that say you have this customer and you either know them or don't know them?
Yes, I
And
know. So you're talking about
you
your
know what I'm going to
stepdad,
say?
Jamie.
Yes.
Okay, so guys, I'll give you a little
Just in
backstory.
case, you know.
Yes, so Jamie, I'm going to say I know your stepdad. I don't, but I'm going to say I do. So sometimes in our life we have negative Nancys or negative Neds, and we have people that, because they love us, they want to protect us, and they get concerned about different things, and they want to know what our protection is inside the company. And I'll tell you, Partner Co has our back. So if we go to partner.co and you go to the FAQs, you can also call customer support. But if somebody has, let's say they had an allergic reaction to the drops, and all of a sudden, I don't know what they develop a third eye. I don't know what it is, but they have some kind of reaction. Then they can go and we can help them with this, but we can reach out to Partner Co and we can say, help us with this person. They would like their money back. They would like to talk to you, whatever. And Partner Co completely has our back with that. And and no different than if, let's just pretend I go to Walmart and I buy a bottle of, let's say, protein powder from Walmart. And I'm like, oh, I really like this protein powder. I go home, I have an allergic reaction. Well, Walmart is not the end party that's responsible. Who is the maker of that protein powder. So if I have an issue with it, I got to call the number on that protein powder. And we're no different. If somebody has an issue, yes, it is moving through us, but if they have an issue, it goes directly back to the company and they've got our back. That's one of the phenomenal things about this industry, is that we get to do business for ourselves, but not by ourselves. And we have so we have phenomenal backing, and we have support from both, our team and the people that we work with, and then people on other teams, but then we also have phenomenal support from the company's perspective, that they want to make sure that we succeed and we feel confident in moving our products and sharing all of that. So we're good there. Next question.